Hello, Randy Gaines here. This is, I believe, week 3, and our assignment this week was to talk about, let's see, discuss in the video post some public health problems that may result from a disaster, is the question I will be doing, and respond to the web link on hate crimes. The My citations will be coming from the Lundy text, the Community Health Nursing Care for Public Health, 3rd edition. The video, which was from BBC, and then the Fink book that we read a couple classes back, 5 Days at Memorial. So anyway, to answer the question, I'll start with that. And the whole question is, again, discussing your video post some public health problems that may result from a disaster. Well, we've had quite a few. We had Hurricane Rita. We've had several earthquakes, hurricanes, earthquakes, tsunamis. Quite a few. So I used to live in Charleston, and one of the things that to answer this question was that there's flooding, and so one of the problems that was faced even in Charleston, and I'm pretty sure in Katrina and some other places that have it was twofold. Well, Medical University of South Carolina, which is where I used to work at, is downtown Charleston. And so it floods anyway, but when there's a hurricane or anything, it's worse. So we found that people were trying to wade in that water. Some of us were trying to wade to get to work because we got called in. And so the problem with that is there is some nastiness in that water. It's downtown, so it's sewage water. What's in the sewer? Nastiness. And so you're in there, and your skin is absorbing it. And yes, it was gross, and the smell was something horrific. The other thing that happens is sometimes potholes, the covers open up. So you can end up walking and then down in a pothole and sinkholes, and the flooding itself can cause like the different debris. I know in Florida and Louisiana, when they were having the hurricanes, people weren't considering it, but it's animals in the water. So it's like alligators and snakes, and yeah. So not only can you get sick, but you can have all these catastrophic accidents on top of the accident. Um, Structures are weak, buildings collapse, because it's wet, or the earth moved, and now stuff that was they it's supposed to be structurally sound to a certain extent, but it can still fall. Stuff can get rotten. The some of the stuff is not meant to be under certain conditions. So when those conditions present themselves, it presents a health problem. Um, so in this case, like the Haiti earthquake in, I think it's 2010, um, they actually ended up having cholera again, and so which will make really bad diarrhea, and among other like gastrointestinal, just super crazy. But they didn't have fresh water, and the sanitation was disgusting because there was none. And on top of it, you add heat and people on top of people, um, and there's nowhere to go. Everybody's breathing on each other. People are all cut up and everything else, so you might be susceptible to infection. So it's like a whole, and then in the hotter places, then you have mosquitoes that come and bite people, and now the mosquitoes are carrying diseases, and I think that's what happened with like Zika and Was it the Zika virus? I'm pretty sure it was the Zika virus, if I'm not mistaken. You have these mosquitoes that, stuff got moved around the way it shouldn't. Now you got all these vector borne diseases going around. And again, people on top of people in like less than sanitary conditions, plus heat, plus it's infection and nastiness, pretty much rampant. The crews, the first responders can come in and try to do their best, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. If I'm not mistaken, the text that I said I was gonna cite, the give me just a second. When I was reading about the the outbreak in, or the earthquake in Haiti, if I'm not, yep, 230,000 people were killed, 1.5 million were displaced, and then 300 300,000 got sick, and yeah, it was gross to say the least. So you have these conditions, and there's nothing you can really do about. Like, you can't prevent it. When you can't stop the ground from moving, you can't make a tsunami not happen. Um, Hurricane, same thing. And then there's the leaving the places altogether. Um, at the 5 days at Memorial, one of the fail safes that failed was the evacuation in and of itself. People were not able to evacuate, and then some of the people that were able to somewhat evacuate, because the interstates and stuff were so locked up. Now you're on the interstate when the hurricane hits, so now you're out in the elements kind of by default, trying to get away. So there are a multitude of unsanitary. So I think that put me at sanitary conditions, no front, fresh water, vector borne diseases that could happen, other diseases that you probably hadn't seen in a while can pop up because, just based off of the bad conditions, not having fresh water. um 9/11 happened, all that debris and stuff. Like, a whole lot of people have respiratory conditions and stuff from being covered in all that dust and debris. Um, then you also have the psychological trauma that the victims and first responders have from having to deal with such conditions, and the depression, and shoot, just a whole lot of things, because they weren't able to help, and it made them hopeless. And you had some people that, some people ended up quitting their jobs and stuff because of what they saw as a first responder. So that is the answer to that. Now, for the reading about um the other reading about the I can't think of what his name is. I'm blanking it right this second. But the clip that we had to read about the kid that was killed for basically being gay. Um, it's it's unfortunately just the world we're living in right now. People just up and decide that somebody doesn't have the right to live because they disagree with something. Or disagree with, oh, well, he's gay and I don't like that, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna kill him, or he has something that I want. Um, I'm gonna kill him and I'm gonna take it. Or you have police officers and others that are just killing black folks like it's a sport at this point in time. So, I mean, it's just, for whatever reason, we've just made so much stuff socially acceptable, and we say that it's not acceptable, but they aren't punished a lot. I mean, even with the guys that killed this child in particular, there was no real remorse. It was, well, we did it, and it was kind of like a. I kind of halfway think I remember the case. I halfway thought they were gonna get away with it, because they were trying to say, oh, I was just on meth and I was super high out of my head. But never mind the fact that it was a full blown plan, and then you beat them so bad, and like it was completely unnecessary. So I mean, I'm glad that it finally kicked off legislation that said, hey, maybe we shouldn't kill people because they're different. I wish it would have been, maybe we shouldn't just kill people, but whatever, as long as it's there and it's effective and it actually applies to everyone, that would be nice. If you kill somebody based off of discriminatory practice, then you should go to jail, whether you be one of us common folks or a police officer or just everybody. Let's try not killing people because we don't like their lifestyle, or we don't like their skin color, or we don't like that they have brown eyes. Whatever your criteria is for killing people, keep it to yourself and don't do it. If you're not in danger yourself, you shouldn't be just out killing people. It's just not a good thing. So that's how I felt about that. I'm not sure we as nurses can do anything to prevent that. It's just that's just what it is. It was it was more than unfortunate. I think people are completely desensitized to and don't value life the way they once did, and it's I don't like it, but I'm not sure what I can do about it besides, try to prevent myself from being killed or my family members and people that I care about. So that was it for this week's topics, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be seeing y'all next week.